It is a joy to be here as always. And earlier today, I was having a little anxiety and doubt, probably some imposter syndrome going on. But I was thinking, I don't have anything to say. My practice has been really uneventful. And, what am I going to talk about? And my spirit guides had to kind of call me to task and say, you're not responsible for the message. You're responsible for showing up and saying what we give you. And you are also not responsible for the outcome. So I don't know why your ego has got all involved in what you are going to say, what's going to happen. Um, because you would think I would know better because this is not the first time they've given me that teaching. But that is what's been going on with me. And of course, I have an abundance of things to say now, starting with I chose the song India Ari, This Too Shall Pass, because I I know that a lot of people are combating frustration and heartbreak and depression and anger and a lot of heavy emotions, and that's kind of in the air with all of what's going on in our world. So much pain, so much fear, so much mean spiritedness, and so it's easy to get pulled into those kind of vibrational energies because they are definitely tugging at us continuously. And so I I thought it would be a good reminder to say, this is not a permanent state. Everything passes. And when I was listening to the song with all of you, I remembered an experience I had as a 20-something-year-old engineer. I was a young Black female engineer, for all intents and purposes, the only Black female they had ever had in management um, at this plant, because the first one who preceded me was killed in a car accident 6 weeks into her tenure there. So that she didn't even get out of training. So I was working in a really kind of rough environment. It was a pulp mill in North Florida, and I worked with this really gruff older guy named Vernon, and we were coming in together one morning from the parking lot, and he was already mad. He was just like, walking angry. And he and I had kind of a good relationship. I would tease him, and he didn't take teasing from a lot of people, so it was rather unusual that he would let me kind of rib him. So I walked up to him and I said, Vernon, I got a scripture for you. And he frowned up because he was also not someone open to being preached at. So I said, Vernon, I got a scripture for you this morning, and it's going to change your day. It's going to give you a whole new attitude. And he said, okay, what is it? I said, and it came to pass. And then I just turned and walked away. And he started laughing. It really did kind of shift his attitude. And he was like, that blankety blank Sharon, she's always got something smart to say. But that that stayed with me because that scripture has spoken to me throughout my life at various times when I was in despair, frustrated, angry, upset, that it came to pass. Now, what I also learned is when I'm elated, overjoyed, excited, that too shall pass. So, as humans in samsara, nothing that we experience is permanent, including our being in these bodies and on this planet, but most definitely being in this political system and political environment we're in, and cultural environment, and with all the war and violence and anger in the world, physical violence, but also violence against our spirit, violence against our humanity. we're asked to digest so much through our tender hearts. But let the angels whisper to you and remind you, like India Ari was singing, this too shall pass. So I was talking to Karen before we invited everyone in from the waiting room um, about my personal hope, and she was saying, that she's not given into despair, and I was saying neither am I, and I'm seeing, some hopeful signs. And two of the things I shared with her were that some experiences I had with young people, one personal and one just kind of a global experience. The I presented a Black History talk yesterday at a church, and they had two speakers. And the speaker that preceded me was a young woman, probably in her 20s. Now, when I was in my 20s, I was not researching Black history. I was not really. I was just trying um, to figure out who I was, what I was doing in the world, and keep the rent paid, and figure out paying bills on time, and having a car, and getting to work, and trying to have friends and relationships, and how all the pieces of my personal life fit together. So it was very uplifting and inspiring that she was committed to engage in the community around Black history, and understanding why that was important, and how important it is for especially African Americans in America to kind of tell our stories of where we are in history. You know, Black history is not something unique. It's just world history that doesn't exclude the contributions of Black people. And so she had that same perspective that it's taken me 60 years to come to. And so that was a very hopeful experience for me, and we had a very joyful celebration. And the other piece that many all of you know, unless you've been in a silent retreat for the last week, everyone's heard about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance or seen it. And what most excited me about that is the global conversation that has transpired since it, because I've spent way too much time watching clips online of people from around the world responding to that, or analyzing it, or unpacking it, and the that kind of conversation happening on a global level among young people is brings me joy. And I don't think I've talked. I've done one of these talks this year, so you probably haven't heard my story. That this year, I always select a word for the year, and some of you who've been around for a while have seen my name change to Sharon Hill, abolitionist, alchemist, and Afrofuturist, and those are kind of the my word of the year for the last 3 years, because I never would let go of the previous year's word, and I still haven't let go of those three words. But the word for this year is joy, because joy is the antidote to despair. And as I moved into 2025, the energy of despair just seemed to be pulling so many people down and interfering with their access to personal joy. And I wanted to be a beacon of the antidote for that, that I wanted to be a part of the medicine that would heal that despair. And for all of us here, we have something and we know something that the world needs right now. And that is how to tap into the source of all joy, all healing, all comfort, and all power. And we get to be that medicine in the world. And I believe that's why we're on the planet at this time. And so we not only owe ourselves, but we owe it to whatever forces came to play to bring us into being who we are and where we are now, to to tap into that and to let it flow through us. Lama Rod always talks about helping from the overflow. Don't deplete yourself giving to others or doing for others. And that's my prayer always when I am leading Medicine Buddha, doing Black History Talks, moving through the world. I pray every day, fill me up to overflowing and let me overflow spirit into the world and let people get what they need from spirit, not from me. But it is a rather selfish prayer because I get to be full of it first. And so I'm always, praying for my own fullness so that I have something to share. And I share that here to invite you to consider, how you move through the world and how you connect with people, because for the most part, people who follow Lama Rod and who show up in these spaces are givers and healers and nurturers. And we want to make sure that we are doing that in a healthy way. One of the things that Lama Rod said that was kind of a spiritual slap across the face for me was that if you're giving out of a depleted energy, you're doing harm. Um, and someone, I'm not gonna call his name because I don't have permission to, but for those of you who were there, you'll remember that one of the participants at one of his retreats said, if you are not, if you're not giving from the overflow, then you're giving thirsty people dust instead of water. And so that imagery stayed with me too. So, but we have what in Christian parlance would be called the living water, and it flows up and wells out through us. Um, I um I still attend a Christian church, and my pastor talks about how, have you ever hugged anybody wearing a lot of perfume, and then it gets in your clothes and you smell like them? She said those of us who spend time close to God smell like God. People can sense it on us. We carry that energy, and it attracts people to us, and they think it's us, and we have to know for ourselves that it's not us, but that we can help people connect with that directly for themselves. So we're not healing people, we're connecting them with the healing energy of the Buddha and the healing energy of our guides and teachers and whoever your whatever words you use to describe that source of comfort and healing and power. So those are kind of my thoughts tonight, and I talked longer than I had planned, but I'm going to move into practice because that's why we're here. And I look forward to practicing with you guys because, again, it fills me up to overflowing to be here. And for anyone who hasn't led Medicine Buddha, I invite you to, I want to share the wealth. I actually waited until a couple of days ago to sign up to do tonight because I wanted to give someone else an opportunity because I'm always excited about doing it. And I don't want to just be spiritually greedy and take all the goodness for myself. So if you are feeling like you want to do it in any way, I encourage you to do that. And also, it's the safest place I can imagine to put yourself out there, because this community is going to hold you up and love you. And so there's the risk of failing is all but eliminated. There's you show up, you open yourself and let the spirit speak through you, and the community works with you, and we create something together. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to invite you, if you're still carrying anything that you brought into this space tonight with you, I'm going to offer you an opportunity to just shake that off, physically shake your body. I invite you to, just jump up and down in your seat, your bed, kick your feet, whatever you need to do to just move some energy and release it, and breathe in deeply. Another Christian phrase, the joy of the Lord. In Buddhist, I don't know all the Buddhist terms, but there's an equivalent experience in Buddhism where you breathe in the the feeling of the Buddha. And if you don't feel it, another thing that my guides called me to task about today is, I wasn't feeling spiritual. But spirituality is not a feeling. So whatever you're feeling, it's a spiritual experience because you're a spiritual being. So you don't have to feel a certain way in order to be one of us. We feel all the feels, everything that is common in humanity. And I probably felt all of them today. But so whatever you're feeling, it's okay to feel that and be in your practice. That is your practice, is to be present with what is. And so I like feeling joy more than I like feeling other things. So I try to move toward that experience. But that's not 100% of my experience, and I don't want to in any way lead you to believe that it is, that I am always walking around feeling joy. I am always walking around believing that joy is accessible, and it's really only a thought away or only a prayer away. And I and yet I don't always choose it. It's Even though I know that, I don't always choose joy. But we're going to, Karen, or you can, or whoever's posting the mantras. Yep, we're going to start with the first mantra as soon as I can kind of let my mouth settle down and stop spouting words. And let's do some breathing now that we've done some shaking, because breath is always with us. Another infinite resource, a gift from the spirit, a connection with the spiritual realm that links the physical and spiritual experience. So breathe deeply. And on the in breath, imagine a light coming into your body that brings whatever you need. Do you need comfort? Do you need motivation? Breathe in. And on the out breath, let go of any heaviness, any resistance, any heartache, any self doubt, anything that doesn't serve you. And notice the seat or the floor, wherever your weight connects you to the earth. And as we've all heard Lama Rod say, the earth is always holding us. And that holding is a loving, nurturing presence. So we're going to move into the first mantra. And the first, and you can either participate or just listen or stay with the breath and let your breath just bring into your body, your heart, your experience, whatever you need. And just be present with whatever is right now for you. I'm going to lead us in an om, one long om, and then three um, recitations of the mantra, the Om Minla Sangye Kino Soha mantra that says, Medicine Buddha, I pray that you know and look upon me now. So this is us acknowledging that we see the Buddha and we know that we are seen by the Buddha. Sangye Kino Soha Om Minla Sangye Kino Soha Om Kino Soha. And let that prayer, Medicine Buddha, I pray that you know and look upon me now. Just resonate in your body, in the very tissues of your being. Let that vibration soothe and shake loose any stagnant energies, any tightness or tension. Let this thousands of year old mantra just have its way in us. And let us move into the next mantra. And we're going to stay with this one for a few minutes in whatever way you would like. I'm going to read it and then we'll chant it together. Teyada Om Bekanze Bekanze Mahe Bekanze Raza Sumagata Soha. Like this, I pray for the end of pain and suffering and the root of pain and suffering. And I release the energy of this prayer out to all the worlds so that we all may be liberated. And again, I'm going to start with the Om, and we will recite the mantra. Om Teata Om Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raza Sumagata Soha. Teata Om Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raza Sumagata Soha. Teata Om Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Raza Sumagata Soha. Teata Om Be Kanze Ma Be Kanze Razasumagata soha. Teata om be kanze ma be kanze razasumagata soha. Teata om be kanze ma be kanze razasumagata soha. Teata om be kanze ma be kanze razasumagata soha. Teata om be kanze ma be kanze razasumagata soha. Teata home bekanze ma bekanze razumagata 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 soha. Teata om 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 bekanze ma bekanze razumagasoha. 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 Teata om bekanze ma bekanze razumagata soha. And those of you who wish, let's turn our attention to the prayer doc. In calling on the Buddha and all the bodhisattvas, all of our guides and teachers, all of our allies across the spiritual realm, we ask that you answer these prayers, that you respond to the needs and requests of this Bhumi community. Prayers for my sister that her heart heals and my heart opens up to love without fear. Prayers for M and I for our meeting, that we come together in compassion and empathy with clarity and restorative forgiveness and care for ourselves and one another. Prayers for P, that she is able to practice self-care and healing for herself. Prayers that my mom receive the geriatric care she needs. Prayers that my son is accepted into the high school he worked so hard to apply to, and that he flourishes there. Prayers that I receive the care I need right now and forever. Prayers for myself during my birthday week. May this be a year of courage and deep healing, when I fully embrace all that I am so I may be of service to others. May my heart continue to open. In gratitude to Lama Rod and for all the guidance I received from my ancestors, guides, and so many others. Prayers for my sister Phoebe, who entered the Bardo last weekend, and for everyone who loved her that she left behind. Prayers for my partner Nikki's father, who's battling cancer and ALS. Prayers for my nesting partner and its continued relational healing from early childhood trauma. Prayers for the well-being of all. Prayers for my brother Tim, who is dying. May his death be filled with love and peace. Prayers for my sister Nancy. May she find peace. Prayers that I may recognize my true self and be of service to all. Prayers for me to find resolve during difficult and necessary life changes. May I have the strength to seek liberation so that I may better serve all beings. Prayers for the safety of those most vulnerable. Prayers for N and R and S to be safe, well, healthy, and at peace. Prayers for me to walk the path before me in surrender, care, and joy. Prayers that I continue to work diligently with SAS day after day. Prayers for an end to carcerality and the liberation of all beings in all realms and timelines immediately. Prayers for Lama Rod, his team, and all Dharma keepers. Asheo. Prayers to remember when all else is dark, I am the light. Prayers that all here overflow with joy, like Sharon, better than Sharon, like Sharon said, okay, and be the medicine for all those we encounter. For all those traveling, that they return safely to their beloveds. Prayers that the animals of the world are cared for. Prayers for Cindy that she recover from cancer and her grandbabies have her a long, long time. Prayers of gratitude for Teddy's recovery, for Roxy's healing, for new levels of stopping running and new levels of surrender. Gratitude for the path of chaplaincy opening up as a potential. Prayers for getting to yes for a fair and equitable divorce for my wife. Prayers for new beginnings and grieving the loss of trust and faith between us. Prayers for her getting sober and for her well-being, for her and my own well-being. Prayers for my ability to bounce back from this bout of suicidality. Prayers for my loved ones that I may support them and that they may be supported as they help me so much as well. Prayers that we may liberate ourselves and experience boundless love, compassion, and play. Prayers for Patrick, his stuckness, depression, and trauma. May he be at peace. May he be liberated as quickly as possible. Prayers for all beings. Prayers that all beings may be healthy and strong. Prayers to stable housing for me and R, for healing people's mental health takes plenty of resources. Prayers for all people with cervical instability, CCI, that we may find the right doctors and treatments. May we be healed. Prayers for Zopa Heron going through cancer and palliative care. She aspires to be born in her next life with conditions conducive for leading the life of a bodhisattva. Prayers for my Aunt Annie in the hospital for the past few years. May she experience healing and comfort. Prayers for friends in S going through a housing crisis, for N whose aunt is surviving cancer, and for Y who is also seeking safe, healthy housing. For CB who is having partner issues and whose step teen is dealing with substance use. For transgender, expansive, and queer folks, for Palestinians and the people in the Congo, Sudan, Syria, and Ukraine. Prayers for Lama Rod and his team, for the new advanced practitioners group. May we build trust and a strong foundation to support each other and Lama Rod. Prayers for guidance and courage in a process of discernment through fear. Prayers for my brother. May his heart surgery be safe and successful. Prayers for my mother. May her fear be lifted. Prayers for radical self-love, love for the world and all beings in it. Radical forgiveness of self and others, and the creation of a culture of deep caring among our beloveds. Prayers for Z, who feels despair. May they feel they have the agency and resources to address their needs so that they are able to feel joy within themselves. Prayers for safety for all of us. Prayers for forgiveness as I sit with the guilt of bringing a baby into this chaotic world. Prayers for safety and freedom for her and all brown babies. Prayers to find joy and to find community. I will move through these changes with. Prayers that I may be the medicine for my community. Prayers for my house, that my housing needs will be met and I will have what I need, and that my health will be restored so that I can have the strength to be well and once again be of service to others. Prayers for all the unspoken prayers today in this community, in this space. Our heart is open to you. Touch us and give us what we need and move us all toward liberation and freedom. We gather in service of the liberation of all beings and all things. Prayers for those who are sick in body, prayers for those who are grieving, prayers for those who are struggling to have their material needs met, prayers for all the um, members of this community, the people they love, which would be the whole world, and those that love them. Let us go back into the mantra. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, rasa sumagata so ha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, rasa sumagata so ha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, rasa sumagata so ha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, rasa sumagata so ha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, razumagat soha. Te ata be kanze, ma be kanze, raza sumagata soha. And moving into Shanti Deva's prayer, we'll recite this together 3 times. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. And until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. May I be a protector for those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach unto the ends of space. And lastly, may I be a protector for those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures, and until they pass away from pain, may I also be the source of life for all the realms of varied beings that reach until the ends of space. Thank you for your practice. And if any, this is community-led medicine Buddha practice. So if anyone has um, a desire to speak into this space, you're invited at this time to do so. And
Well,
I say, oh, go
I know
ahead.
I got one thing to say, Miss Sharon, which is from my bones, thank you for what you offered for us tonight. And thank you all so much for everything that you offered tonight as well. Spoken,
Yes.
unspoken, felt, or even unfelt. Seen, especially unseen. You know what I'm saying? And just for reference, there is the link to donate again if that is accessible for you. And also the quick links, as always, is available to support you. And that's all from me.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice. Good night and blessings. And I will see you all next time.